you guys get a little bit of a sneak peek at next week's vlog. So, my new background, you'll see more about that on Tuesday. Hello everybody, my name is Danny and welcome back to my channel. Today I have my first official unhaul video for you guys, and it's a big one in my opinion. I don't really watch unhaul videos all that much, but the ones that I have seen are usually between 10 and 20 books, and I have 40 books I'm going to be telling you about why I'm no longer keeping today. So yeah, let's just get talking about books. I do not have these books physically with me because I was going through all of my collection at my parents' house and moving them out of there, so there was no point in me taking books with me that I wasn't going to keep, because there's a really good place up by my parents to donate used books, so they're just going there. So instead I have some pictures that I'm going to kind of do a slideshow of. And the first picture is all books that I'm going to be giving to my cousin. He is turning 9 in November, and so he's still a little young for most of these books, but I feel like he is an avid reader, and these will be ones that he can read in the coming years as he grows more into the middle grade genre. So first I have books 1, 2, and 4 of the Inheritance Cycle. These are books that I've read recently, and I might have read as a child, honestly. I can't remember doing so, but as I was reading these books, they just felt very familiar. The first two I haven't read, books 3 and 4 yet. I didn't even own book 3 until recently when I bought a full matching set, so I ordered the full set, and it ended up not being the covers that I had ordered. I opened the box and it's like not the original covers, but like the second edition covers, and I had ordered the most recent ones that have the picture on the spine all matching, and I thought it was really cool, and now I don't have those, so I'm a little sad, but it's whatever. But yeah, I'm now passing on these copies to my cousin. Then we have the Spiderwick Chronicles, which is a series that he can definitely pick up now. I think they're perfectly in his age range, and I think they're just charming little books that he'll really enjoy. It's a nice little boxed set, and it'll look really cute on a shelf. And then we finally come to Incarceron and Sapphique, which is an upper middle grade / lower YA dystopian duology that, like Aragon, he'll have to wait before picking up, but I remember it being really good. I read it a couple of different times, and I just wanted to pass them on to him. Next up, we have a slide full of classics and some writing type books. So The Sound and the Fury and A Clockwork Orange, I just don't think I'll ever end up reading. Pretty sure I got them because they were cheap at a secondhand shop, but they just don't sound like things I'll be interested in, so I have no reason to keep them in my collection. Then The Crucible, The Things They Carried, To Kill a Mockingbird, Edith Hamilton's Mythology, and The Phantom of the Opera are all books that I have read, some of them more than once. I'm looking at you, To Kill a Mockingbird, having had read that 3 different times just in high school alone, and then at least twice in college. But there's little chance I'll end up wanting to pick one of them up again in the future, and so I'm just not going to keep them. And then there's just a little prompt book and a small dictionary called Words You Should Know, and I just don't really have a use for either of those. I've flipped through them and they're just not for me. And the last couple of pictures have zero theme to them, they're just the rest of the books that I don't want anymore. So first we have The Rise and Fall of Dodo. I only got because it was $1, but I don't actually want to read it, but maybe someone else will. A Gilded Cage and Shadow Brightly Burning I read earlier this year and enjoyed, but not enough to keep them and to continue on with their series. And then the box set of the Millennium Trilogy with the little book on the author was a gift from my parents because it's like a collector's edition, but I don't actually have any desire to read them or own them because that genre as a whole is just not really my thing, and even though they're very pretty, I don't really see a point in keeping a book that I'm not going to read. Then I am giving up books 5 and 6 in the Shakespeare Star Wars series because I've realized I only care about collecting novelizations of A New Hope, which is book 4 / episode 4, And so I'm keeping A New Hope's Shakespearean novelization, I guess you would call it. But yeah, passing on these two. Then Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is just not something I want on my shelf anymore. Bag of Bones and Everything's Eventual were two Stephen King books that I got secondhand, and I really liked them when I read them, but I don't think I'll ever go back for a reread. It's kind of a funny story. Poison Apples, Elsewhere, and A Tale Dark and Grim are books that I loved in middle school and early high school because that's the target audience that they're aimed at. But that was nearly a decade ago, and the nostalgia isn't so strong with these books that I feel the need to keep them. Model Land, Holes, and Twins are similar in that I really enjoyed them when I read them, but I don't feel the need to keep them on my shelf. Holes was a little bit hard to give up because I do really, really love the movie, and the book is also fantastic, but I do prefer the movie over the book, I think because I saw it before I read it, and I don't think I'll be, itching to reread Holes anytime soon, so we're just gonna pass on it. Rotherweird was a book that my boyfriend got me for Christmas just because it had a cool cover, but we both read it, and neither of us ended up actually enjoying the book, so no need to keep it. And then finally, we have Speaker, which I won on a Goodreads giveaway like 6 or 7 years ago, not realizing that it was the second book in a series, and not once have I felt compelled by the story enough to order the first book to end up eventually reading the second, so it's being passed to someone who maybe will feel that compelling nature of books to buy a whole series and binge read them. So those are the 40 books that I decided while going through my collection at my parents' house I would not be bringing back with me to Pennsylvania. And then I just remembered that I have 4 more books that I will be getting rid of and unhauling. And I forgot about these ones because they're books that I actually had here and then read and then decided I didn't want to keep, so they've just been sitting in a pile on the floor until I figure out what to do with them. So the first is White Teeth by Zadie Smith, and this was a really good book, just not really a genre I'm super interested in and not one that I will be returning to. And we have In the Shadow of Blackbirds by Kat Winters, which was a surprisingly good read. I did not expect to like it as much as I did, but again, I don't really feel like it has that pull to reread eventually that a lot of books do for me, so it's going on to someone else. We have Saving Montgomery's Soul, and this book was not very good in my opinion. I feel like it needed something more to it, like it was definitely missing something. It's very short, so probably if there was more length to it and there were some plot points added, it would have been better, but overall it was only 3 stars, and I have no reason to keep a mediocre book, in my opinion, on my shelf. And then finally we have She Loves You, which I just read, I think last month or maybe the month before, I honestly don't remember, and it is a middle grade historical fiction about the Beatles that was really cute, but again, not my thing. Gonna pass it on, and hopefully someone who enjoys this more than I did will get their hands on it. And so we come to the real end of this book haul now, and that's it. I don't really know what else to say. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought about them, I guess. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe to my channel for more content. That way, I will see you in the next video. Bye!